Good evening. Welcome to another edition of Whether or Not. I'm your host, Dennis Khrulov, with forecaster Madison Olms. So Madison, it's been a pretty warm week with high temperatures making it into the lower 70s for much of the week so far with sunny conditions. Do you see that weather pattern continuing as we head into the weekend and beyond?
Yeah, so on Friday we'll see the same conditions that we've seen throughout the week, but moving into the weekend, the cloud cover will increase, and on Sunday we will be seeing some showers.
So that is bad news because on Saturday we have the football game, but do you see that being mostly dry or will rain showers be impacting that?
The game should stay mostly dry. It's in the evening on Saturday, in the overnight hours, and into the day on Sunday that we'll start to see those showers appear.
So I've heard there's a Halloween parade in downtown State College at 6:30 on Sunday, and unfortunately it seems like that will be impacted. So that is not good news to hear if you're planning to head out to that. Anyway, I heard this evening we're going to have some interesting nature and news stories lined up and a feature on e-learning by Gavin Sandel. So that will be interesting to see this evening. Anyway, let's go into our first nature and news story.
This discovery will blow your mind. Fluorescent anatomy was found in most living families of mammals. Scientists had reason to believe this trait only occurred in unusual animals like flying squirrels and platypuses. They were found to be fluorescent, absorbing invisible ultraviolet light and re-emitting it. Some common colors that were re-emitted were bright pink and cyan. This once-thought quirk appears to be a common trait in many well-known species. These species belong to more than half of existing mammal families, and some fluorescence was found in all of them. At first, it was questioned if preservatives or fungus were to blame for the bright colors, but as new specimens were acquired, they were tested before and after preservation to see if the colors would show. The most intense colors show up in albino specimens. This unique trait is still being studied, but is still a bright breakthrough nonetheless.
On Monday, October 23rd, a deadly interstate pileup in Louisiana was connected to a rather unique weather feature known as superfog. Superfog develops when a mixture of smoke and moisture is released from smoldering materials such as the burning brush and trees and mixes with the saturated air, creating an extremely dense fog. As a result, the superfog can create visibilities as low as 10 feet or less. Due to an ongoing drought in Louisiana, marsh fires have been on the increase. Unfortunately, the area of superfog that developed was over Interstate 55 outside of New Orleans. This led to an extremely large pileup that led to 7 dead and dozens injured. As always, when the visibility is extremely reduced on roadways by any weather event, it is highly recommended you reduce your speeds and keep your eyes glued to the roads.
A once roaring maze of rivers is now drying and revealing new secrets. Parts of the Amazon have experienced extreme drought, leading to a dramatic drop in river water levels. This has revealed dozens of usually submerged rocks with carvings of human forms. These are estimated to date back almost 2,000 years. The rock carvings are not usually visible because they are covered by river waters. Most of the engravings found are of human faces, some with smiles or grim expressions. Rivers in this region have recorded the lowest level flows in 121 years. The droughts have caused transportation in this region to be affected due to the reliance on the waterways in the region. The dry season has worsened this year due to El Niño, an irregular climate pattern over the Pacific Ocean that disrupts normal weather. As this warming pattern continues, who knows what other secrets will unfold.
Did you know that eventually we will have an extra hour added to our day? Why? Well, blame it on the moon. The moon, a delightful sight to see on those clear nights, is slowly drifting away from our planet. Our moon acts as a natural satellite, which means it moves around our planet on a constant basis and it has an effect on Earth with its gravitational pull. Researcher Stephen Myers explained this with the concept, quote, "As the moon moves away, the Earth is like a spinning figure skater who slows down as they stretch their arms out," end quote. Through this research, the scientists have discovered that the moon is moving away 3.82 centimeters per year away from the Earth. However, you won't need to add an extra hour to your schedule anytime soon. Due to this very slow rate, it won't be for another 200 million years until this extra hour will be necessary. An interesting tidbit to add is that 1.4 billion years ago, a day on Earth lasted roughly 18 hours. That makes you wonder on how future generations in millions of years will react to our shorter 24-hour days.
Those warmer conditions that we experienced throughout this past week may be moving out as we head into the weekend. On Friday, mostly clear and dry conditions persist along the northeastern coast, but as we move inland to the Ohio, Indiana, and Illinois area, we see some rain showers and a cold front that will be sweeping into the area on Saturday, but not quite reaching the Virginia area just quite yet, as they're still experiencing warmer than average temperatures, just like we experienced throughout this past week. But there are some showers that remain along the cold front area. But for the majority of the region and the Midwest, we'll see cloudy conditions persist. That cold front has swept through on Sunday and bringing in showery conditions to finish off our weekend. A low pressure system is beginning to form in the heart of Indiana, leaving us with cloudy conditions in the Midwest as we finish off the weekend. For a quick weekend recap, we see sunny and pleasant conditions continue on Friday with a high of around 77 degrees. Moving into the night, things do begin to cool off to about 55 degrees, and cloud cover does begin to increase. Saturday, it's game day, Penn State versus Indiana. Let's hear your roar. If you're beginning to tailgate at around 8 a.m. on Saturday, I would recommend bringing a few layers with you, as the high will only be around 59 degrees, but come for that noon kickoff, we'll be seeing some cloudy and partly sunny conditions at around 62 degrees. By the time the game is over at that fourth quarter, we'll be seeing cloudy skies, but a significant increase in temperatures, with that high sitting at around 72 degrees. To finish off our weekend, we'll see some cooler conditions and some showery skies as we move through the rest of our Sunday with a high of around 66 degrees. Up next, we'll have a feature on Penn State's online learning by Gavin Sandel.
Take a stroll down any college campus and you'll be able to find what's considered a cathedral of academia, a massive high-capacity lecture hall that's suitable for any class necessary. Though for the last few years, the hustle and bustle of this world has led students to want to learn just a little bit differently. Penn State has been crafting a solution for the last quarter century that relies less on classrooms like this one and more on its online version. That solution is Penn State's World Campus. Since 1998, the fully online campus has offered both graduate and undergraduate degrees in various programs, from accounting to turf grass management. Though not giving out as many degrees that an in-person campus, say University Park, would offer, World Campus has a rich history through its unique styles. World Campus also offers certificate programs for different topics. Certificates, like degrees, are given after completing a certain amount of credits, yet that total can significantly differ from usual degree program. Typical four-year degrees are achieved after about 120 credits at most universities, whereas certificates can be given after completing just 10 to 20 credits, opening the door for those who are interested in learning their passion at a much lower cost. Penn State e-learning through World Campus offers a certificate for weather forecasting. Through its just 4-course curriculum, it offers a surprising deep dive into the world of meteorology.
So at the time when I started, I was working for the Weather Service as an emergency manager and a policy analyst, but I wasn't a degreed meteorologist. I had been a weather geek my entire life. When I finally started taking the program, I basically realized, man, I should have done this 10 years ago, because you start getting a greater foundation of the science.
The foundation begins with Meteorology 101, a class that teaches fundamental principles of synoptic and physical meteorology. in addition to lessons on satellites, radar, and data analysis. From there, 2 classes take a deeper dive into tropical and mesoscale forecasting, which look into low-latitude and small-scale weather phenomena, respectively. To finish off the program, you'll go through Meteorology 410, the aptly named Advanced Weather Forecasting class, which explores highly specialized topics with large ranges in both scale and time. Though the program ends up to be just 12 credits, the professors and difficulty of the courses line up similarly to a classic in-person experience.
Well, first off, just as far as the pace goes, it is a challenging program in the sense like you're working for it. Like this is not, I think there's this idea out there these online programs are not, up to snuff or anything like that. That's not true of this program. If you had a question, it was definitely going to get answered by 10 different people, all of which had great insight from different sectors, and you definitely felt like you were part of a community, that you weren't solo.
One of the benefits of a fully online program is its flexibility. Those classes can be taken almost any time of year, and they can be done from any corner of the world. In fact, Reagan Medji, a broadcaster who most recently worked on Fox 5 News in New York, furthered her career with a weather forecasting certificate, one that took her 4 semesters to get while juggling a full-time broadcasting job. Being a professional or not, the biggest benefit of earning a certificate, whether it be in meteorology or not, is the advancement of knowledge.
Having the understanding of what drives those impacts, drives the overall conversation, drives the overall forecast, that's critical. And if you don't understand that, as an emergency manager, as any sort of sector that involves a lot of uses of meteorological information, it makes you much better at your job.
In the age of the internet and constant information, Penn State's World Campus has revolutionized the way students nowadays get classes taught to them, making rooms like these less appealing and allowing anyone, anywhere, to get a top-class education. For Whether or Not, I'm Gavin Sandel.
As we head into the weekend, those fall-like conditions will be returning. For a quick weekend recap, we see those warmer than average temperatures that we experienced throughout this past week persist on Friday and Saturdays, with the highs sitting in the 70s, with an increase in cloud cover on Saturday, moving into Sunday, where we'll see it damper to the end of our weekend with showery conditions and a cool off in temperatures of around 66 degrees. Those cooler temperatures will begin to sweep into the area, with the highest we'll be seeing on Monday right around 58 degrees and those showery conditions that we saw on Sunday. But on Tuesday, skies begin to clear and we'll see a scary drop in temperatures for that Halloween holiday. Temperatures begin to rise throughout the rest of the week from Thursday into Friday, with the chance of showers to finish off our week.
Thank you for the forecast, Madison. And it looks like it's going to get quite chilly as we head into the Halloween day, which is going to be pretty surprising. So as we go into the cooler conditions, we're going to start thinking about snow. So this week's question is going to deal with what was the record snowfall total on Halloween in State College? Was it A, 16.4 inches? Was it B, 9.4 inches? C, 4.1 inches? Or D, half an inch? If you guessed C, 4.1 inches, you are in fact correct. In fact, that happened in the year of 1993.
Wow, 30 years ago already when we experienced that record.
So yeah, while it's going to get pretty chilly next week, it doesn't look like we'll be seeing that much snow, or if any.
Not quite yet, and hopefully not until we get closer to those winter months.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll make up that snowfall deficit that we saw last winter.
Perhaps.
We'll see. Anyway, thank you for joining us this evening. Stay tuned for another jam-packed show next week.